Hello. Wait, don't want to see that. Hello, and welcome back to Katawa Shoujo. We talked to Rin for a little bit, and then I think we went to bed. And now we're gonna have another day, I guess. Let's see. Another day, another day. Oh, we dozed off. We dozed off, and then we woke up because the festival has some fireworks. Fireworks! Pew! Pew! A low boom reverberates through the school grounds. After images of bright sparks flash through my vision like stars. Something rises toward the skies from the direction of the sports field. A tail of fire trails behind it until a burst of red and yellow flame lights the sky high above the school with another loud boom. Fireworks! Oh, this is flashy. A sudden flash of light against the canvas of the night sky awakens me to realize that it's actually dark already. How long did I sleep? I feel groggy. You're making me sleepy, Hisao. I feel groggy and can't feel my right arm. As I attempt to flex it, I realize why. Rin is leaning heavily against my shoulder, almost falling on my lap. Aww. That's cute. They sleepy. She is fast asleep, not even fazed by the fireworks. She's tired, Hisao. She been working hard. She a hard worker. Everyone call her lazy, but I know. I see you. Her mouth is slightly open and her eyes are peacefully closed, a sleeping, childlike face of the innocent. I shake Rin gently with my free arm, trying to wake her up, or failing that, move her so that my other arm is liberated from its pinch. Rin's face twitches and her eyelids shut tighter, as if to resist against waking up. She gradually opens her eyes, but keeps them half closed, letting the light from the fireworks sneak just past her eyelashes so that her green irises mirror the bright flashes of the explosions, then look up at me and frowns. Just a while longer, okay? I think Sleepies is so cute. Whenever people are like, no, just let me go sleep, please, I'm tired. And they got a little sleepy face and a little sleepy voice, and they just want snuggles and the blankies. That's cute. I like that. Rin's voice is drowsy and slow, leaving her almost unintelligibly muttered words hanging lazily in the air. It seems she is not entirely aware of the situation. Rin's head drops back on my shoulder as she leans against me with all her weight. She snuggles against my side, trying to make herself comfortable, but making me feel very uncomfortable at the same time. I become intensely, almost painfully aware of Rin's warm body and the deep, peaceful movement of her chest against my arm, her breathing soon returning to the even rhythm. I can't help admiring her gift for sleeping, or the ease of mind of hers to use someone she has known for less than a week as a pillow. The rockets rise up to the sky one at a time, breaking into flowers of red, green, and gold, accompanied by oohs and ahs of the audience. I try to push Rin's disconcerting proximity out of my mind for what can I do about it? I just hope her short while really is that. One by one, the glittery bursts are born and die in a blink of an eye, coloring the dark night sky into a consistently changing abstract painting. I listen to the low booms of the explosions and Rin's quiet breathing, trying to clear my own head of the post-awakening disorientation. Thankfully, just a while longer really proves to be just a while, as Rin stirs from her slumber and wakes up again before the fireworks are over. I fell asleep. She finally opens her eyes completely and blinks a few times. You fell asleep on top of me. Twice. You didn't like it? Well... Despite the inconclusive stammering, Ren sits upright, drawing herself away from me. Well, you are heavy. It's a lie, she weighs next to nothing, but I have to get a jab back at her, even if it's under the belt. My mock protest fails to draw any reaction as Ren's attention is drawn upwards to the flashes of the fireworks. She seems hypnotized by the colorful play of the explosions. A slight tingling sensation goes up and down in my arms as blood starts to circulate again. It's unpleasant, but it helps me get rid of this dizzy feeling. More and more rockets rise up to the sky, the bright colors of their explosions reflecting from the clouds. Both of us stare at the fireworks fixedly through the canopy of the trees, enthralled by the show. We would get a vastly better view of the sky if we moved even a couple yards, but neither of us bother to even suggest it. I really do like fireworks, even though looking at them makes me feel kinda sad. I think it's like they want you to look at them so bad that they're loud and bright, but when someone looks, they're already gone. It's like they were not even real. They are real, I can tell you that. All of this is real, you know? If you think about it, nothing really lasts for long. Even something like my life, or yours, is just a blink of an eye in the history of everything. Like one of those rockets, poof, and we're gone. What the? We were sleeping, having a nice cuddly now we're talking about this? Why so deep all of a sudden? But we're here, aren't we? Yeah, this is reality. Ren sitting next to me, the loud bangs of the fireworks, the vast unlimited sky. These things are definitely real, even though they won't stay here forever. I feel warm inside and wonder if it's because Ren is so close or just the feeling of being alive. I really don't know what I should say next. It's alright. Maybe I'm just talking to myself. But you know, fireworks are pretty. But in the end, isn't it somehow silly to spend so much money on a fraction of a second worth of pretty sparkles? Ren rips her gaze off of the still ongoing spectacle and leans backwards, looking at me with a repulsed face. How could you? You upset her. Why would you say that? She just said she likes fireworks. Shut your mouth! Well, I never expected you to be such a cynic. Cynic is a pretty harsh word. Rather than that, I think of myself as a realist. Don't they all? Isn't a realist just a word for what a cynic calls himself? Hell yeah. Rin knows what's up. The final rocket goes out with a bang of silver and blue, leaving the grounds eerily silent for a moment until the crowd starts moving towards the main gate like a cattle herd. Couldn't you just say a herd? Like, maybe it's different. Wisps of gray smoke drift through the dorms from the sports field. The pungent, sulfurous smell of gunpowder it carries along feels like it sticks to my hair and clothes, because it does. Was that it? I think so. Everyone's leaving, aren't they? I stand up and stretch my sore back. Sleeping against a brick wall wasn't such a good idea after all. I don't think anyone thought that it was. Rin stands up as well and turns to face me with an expectant gaze on her tired features. Although she seems to have trouble focusing her eyes, she is looking straight at me, something I feel has not occurred too often in the past week. So I suddenly realize we have been almost on a date here, as if by accident, even if we did nothing. But it wasn't, so why blood is rushing to my cheeks and my speech stammering? that wasn't funny, but I just let it. I'm allowed to think things are funny. Leave me alone. I don't know what I should say, especially since it seems Rin is waiting for me to say something, but luckily she solves my problem for me. Well, you just started being like, so of course she's waiting for you to say something. Good night, Hisao. Bye. She gives me one more lingering look, measuring me from tip to toe. Okay. Turns around on her heel and skips off, disappearing into the crowd. Okay. Good night. I'm left standing there, giving my response to the cooling night air. The festival turned out to be nothing like I expected. I ended up spending all day in one spot with Rin, even though neither of us agreed on nor suggested that we do anything. I just didn't have anything better to do, and evidently neither did she. Rin's warmth lingers for a while longer in my body before disappearing into the falling night. Hello? Hello? Animation? Dandelion? Oh, she's painting. I love this. Am I dreaming? That's not how you're supposed to do it, Hisao. You have to blow the dandelion and then you get a wish. You don't just shake it. Act 2. Disconnect. Ooh. Okay. I liked that. I want to rewind it and watch it again. I guess I can go to the library afterwards. That was really cute. Why was that so cute? That upsets me how cute that was. Oh no, that makes I don't like when don't make me get attached to characters because then they'll fall off a roof. I'm scarred for life. It's already 8:30, but this morning's class has not yet begun. We were supposed to have physics, but the teacher is nowhere to be seen. Had I known this beforehand, I would have slept in too. Suddenly the classroom door slams open and Muto grunts his morning greeting to us from the doorway. Good morning, everyone! Muto looks like he has not slept at all. He might not have. The stubble, his messier than normal hair, and the stained dress shirt create a less than favorable impression. I guess he had fun last night at the festival too. Excuse my being late, I ran into unexpected problems. I'm usually not one for festivals like this, but I hope you all had a good time. After all, these sorts of events are important for you all, since they give you a short reprieve from schoolwork. The class replies with various degrees of enthusiasm, and Muto proceeds to take roll and get started. Right then, today's subject is photon particle physics. Nani? Before long, I have descended into a comfortable coma-like state along with the rest of the class, letting Muto's rambling speeches pass through one ear and exit the other without leaving a trace. Now, who could tell us the solution to this problem? He's written a rather easy question on the blackboard. Desperately, he tries to get the class to participate. Nobody? Come on, guys. Nakai, how about you? Unfairly singled out and cornered, I give him an answer. It causes his shaggy features to twist into a genial smile that would scare little children senseless. Let him be happy! Hisao, leave him alone! Precisely. Good work, Nakai. I'm both disturbed and honored by the fact he can remember my name only 1 week after I transferred here. From what I've seen, Muto has serious trouble remembering the names of anybody else in the class. Most of them have been here since the first year. The room settles into a dreary mood, students and teacher alike trying to get back on track after the festival. Got them post-festival depressos. I figure last week must have been frantic for everyone. Then the ding dong. Not a minute too soon, the lunch bell rings.
Make way, important business!
I turn my head just in time to see other people scatter out of the way as someone charges from the far end of the corridor towards the stairwell. It's too late to realize that I'm standing in the middle of the corridor directly in the way of the oncoming human projectile. I try to skip back towards the doorway. Unfortunately, the person running towards me dodges in the same direction. In the following fraction of a second, several things come to mind in sequence, yet almost simultaneously. First, I recognize that the girl who is on a collision course with me is Emmy. Second, I realize that it feels somehow very natural to be tackled by Emmy once again. I could feel almost comfortable if not for the reflexive panic and terror. Third, Emmy seems to be carrying a foot-tall stack of papers while running in the hallway. She crashes into me, but at least the impact was a grazing one on my arm this time.
Owie! Why does this always happen to me?
Gee, I wonder, could it possibly have anything to do with you running through the corridor like you were on fire? She whimpers regretfully, looking like a hurt puppy. The sight makes me regret my snappish comment the very instant it emerges from my lips. No, don't. She's not supposed to be doing that, and she almost gave you a heart attack. She's manipulating you with her cuteness.
But I was in a hurry.
I can tell.
Sorry.
Don't worry about it, except quit running. Start earlier. Emmy wails weakly one last time and rubs her forehead as if to expel the ache while her gaze sweeps over the hallway floor.
As she notices her neat stack of papers spread
all over the floor in one big mess, she lets out a horrified yelp.
The printouts! Oh no, what are we going to do? Teacher will give me hell if they get dirty.
They're probably fine. Let's gather them back up. It won't be a problem. We quickly round up the papers, and Emmy tries to sort the scattered pile in her hands back. Back into the orderly stack it was.
Where are you going?
Nowhere in particular, I guess. Don't want to be left alone with Muto in the classroom. I think he has a hangover.
Have you eaten lunch?
Not yet, but I'm not feeling very hungry anyway. She looks at me incredulously as if doubting my sanity for letting such a thing out of my mouth.
You should go to the roof. I promised Rin I would eat lunch with her. I bet she'd like company.
Uh-oh. My lunches with Rin have been remarkably unsuccessful. I know where this conversation is going, and it's hard not to get drawn along, so I have little choice but to play ball. Okay, I'll go pick up some bread or something first. Emmy smiles brightly before I say anything further.
No, I'll go deliver these super quick and then go buy lunch for us. And Rin too, of course. What kind of bread do you like?
It's fine. You really don't need to.
Don't worry, it's alright. Consider it an apology. I'll be back before you know it.
And then she starts running like she shouldn't be. That's what I'm worried about. Don't get into another accident. Emmy starts walking down the hall, but since she's talking to me, she isn't watching where she's going.
I won't.
And then she runs into the wall. Famous last words. She's always jogging down the stairs as she shouts that not so reassuring promise back to me. Sighing quietly, I start plodding along in her wake, but instead of taking the stairs down, I climb upwards. The stairwell up to the roof is unlit, just as creepy as it was before. The door squeaks weakly in protest as I push it open. Take that, door. Rin is there too, like Emmy said, lying on her back on the other end of the pebble-covered rooftop for some reason. Predicting something unnecessarily strange again, I walk to her as slowly as possible. Hello. Hello. She sounds very drowsy as she says that, stretching the end of the word with a slurred voice. Despite that, her eyes are wide open. It's my shadow! I look down at her, my shadow overlapping her face. What are you doing? Rin raises an eyebrow. What does it look like I'm doing? I'm laying on the ground. I thought you had a heart problem, not an eye problem. Ooh. Ooh! Take that, Hisao. Asking stupid questions. She answers, challenging the rationale of my perfectly valid question without even tilting her head to look at me. Rin's smart-ass comments are infuriating. The worst thing is that I'm not sure if she's doing it on purpose or not. Alright then, let me rephrase. Why are you lying on your back on the rooftop? She gives a lazy shrug and sniffs dismissively. I'm trying to experience. People probably don't do this enough. What exactly are you trying to experience here? I can't really tell, but there's probably a reason people don't do whatever. She wants to look at the sky and just take in the surroundings and feel the wind and the warmth on her back. Hisao, you cynic. She's playing dodgeball with me again, answering my attempt at small talk with riddles I don't want to puzzle out. I don't want to ignore her either. Yeah, but the reason is that everyone is too busy with their lives to pay attention to the really important things. Like watching the sky? She tears her gaze away from the sky and finally looks straight at me. The penetrating deepness of her eyes once she focuses them on something is startling. You know, if you were a girl, I would be able to see your panties. If I was a girl, I wouldn't come this close to anyone who tried to sneak a peek at my panties. I have that much common sense. You would also still be wearing pants, because, you know, girls can wear pants. I wouldn't either, because sometimes it can't be avoided, like now, for example. To tell you the truth, I don't even really want to peek at your panties, though. Underpants are the soul of a girl. You shouldn't peek at someone else's soul, even if you are not a girl. As a guy, I guess I can understand that. To us, there's some sort of half-mythical object that we can't quite comprehend. Are they? Are they, though? Yeah, that's exactly how I think about them, too. What a coincidence. You have panties. Yeah, you do. It really is. So did you have world history in the morning class? I skipped class. To do this? Well, I'm not exactly doing what it looks like I'm doing. Or at least I think that what I am doing doesn't look like what I look like. But from your perspective. Probably. Yeah, I skipped class to do this. I guess whatever your reason is, it's as good as any. Giving in to the tired feeling of my legs, I sit down on the roof next to Rin. The pebbles are not the most comfortable bed in the world, but if she can stand it, then I should be able to as well. What are you waiting for? Try it. I bend my neck backwards to take a look where she's looking. The silvery blue sky dotted by herds of cloud sheep fills my field of vision entirely. While it's pretty, the view is nothing special, even though the weather is fair. I give a shrug, trying my best to imitate the nonchalant manner which Rin seems to have evolved to perfection, and lie down on my back. The stones poke at my back through my thin shirt wherever I shift my weight even a little, forcing me to keep as still as possible. I try to ignore the discomfort and myself, instead concentrating on the vastness over us. Far above, the summer clouds drift soundlessly across the doe of the sky. It's making me sleepy. Neither of us has anything more to say. The silence covers the rooftop. The subdued noises of students on their lunch break, cicadas in the trees and traffic buzzing past the school are humming pleasantly somewhere in the background. Listen, I had a great time yesterday. Did you? Well, To be honest, no, but it was alright. It was probably the longest time I've ever sat in one place without doing anything, which is kinda impressive. I try to make it sound as convincing as possible. Is that impressive? I think it is. I'm usually too restless to do anything like that. I think I had a good time too. A cloud passes above us, casting its shadow on the school. A chill urges through me from the sudden change of sunlight to shade. I realize that summer is not in its full bloom quite yet. The only measure of time passing is the slow pace of the clouds moving towards the town. Stray beams of golden sunlight leak through the gaps, blinding me for a moment whenever they hit me directly in the eyes. The blue of the sky looks so unreachable. This reminds me of the time I spent in the hospital where I was bored out of my mind on a daily basis. Somehow it didn't matter after a while. I learned to appreciate other things besides watching TV and gossiping with people I didn't even like. A comprehensive sensation of calmness spreads from my sight to other senses, finally hitting my brain. An airplane zooms by, leaving two thin contrails in its wake like a pair of chalk lines drawn from one end of the sky to the other. I wonder where it's heading. The low din of its engines carries all the way down to my ears, although it's barely audible over the racket from the quad. It's nice. It's nice, but I don't understand why this is more important than going to class. Isn't it good to do something you like? Every once in a while? Of course, but
What are you doing?
Emmy has snuck up on us without either noticing and is only a step away from me, holding several packages wrapped in plastic film in her arms. She leans forwards and peeks over me, overshadowing my face almost exactly the same way I overshadowed Rin before. I wonder how weird this looks, the two of us lying on our backs on the rooftop. That's what I asked too. I would be more concerned about what you were doing if I were you. I wouldn't come that close to people who could see your panties.
Rin!
Emmy's voice is scandalized, but she quickly takes a step backwards, pressing her hands against the front of her skirt so abruptly that the parcels of bread she was carrying fall. I quickly avert my eyes and glance angrily at Rin. She pretends not to see me.
Hisao isn't like that, right?
Right. Emmy scowls at Rin and crouches down to pick up the packages. She wipes the dust off them and skips lightly around me to Rin's other side, where she sets herself down. Emmy...
Oh, anyway, here's your bread. Sorry it took a while.
That's alright, thanks for treating me. I pull myself up into a sitting position and gratefully accept the bread Emmy is offering. All three of us ravenously dig into the simple meal. The bread is surprisingly decent and readily fills my tummy. I follow from around the corner of my eye the skill with which Rin handles her bread between her feet.
I haven't seen you on the track in a few days.
Oh right, I figured it was too heavy a routine for me to start with.
So you've been doing something else?
I've been considering my options. She frowns but doesn't pursue the issue further, for which I'm thankful. Emmy seems pretty headstrong, and I wouldn't really want to get pestered by her about this on a daily basis. I have enough burdens to bear with Shizune and Misha already. Oh, that's a different bing bong. We barely finish the lunch before the bell rings, calling us back to our classes.
Chi-chan!
Misha waves at me as soon as I enter, and starts talking before I even make my way across the classroom.
How was your festival? Did you have fun?
Still somewhat undecided on that. I'd say probably. Why?
Just asking.
Her eyes glint in a way that tell me she's not just asking. I can't even start to guess her motives though. As the well-timed entrance of the English teacher prevents us from talking further, Misha falls back to plan B.
Quit peeping at me.
I was there all day with Shi-chan. We had a lot of fun. Weren't you supposed to be doing work?
Don't worry, everything went really well.
I don't reply to that, and she leaves me alone after Shizune demands her attention. My own attention, on the other hand, is directed out the windows, like a protag. Now that I look at it from here, through the window and the foliage just outside, the sky seems smaller. I catch only small glimpses of blue. Everything else is a clutter of noise right in the middle of my field of vision. Is this zooming in? Yes, it is. What experience did Red want out of the staring of the sky? Surely she's done it before. Everyone has. It's no use trying to guess her mind, but if I don't do that, then I have no excuse for not concentrating on the teacher's words. I look at the scribbles appearing on the blackboard, trying to figure out their meaning with little success. English really is not my favorite subject. We have a strong mutual dislike for each other. Oops. Woof. Thick, hot afternoon lights invade the corridor, making the air feel heavy and lazy. I think I'll leave it off here. I thought that I'd be going to bed by now, so I'd have a good stopping point, but I think this is a pretty decent stopping point.
Alright, well, I will see you guys. Oh, wait. No, I'll leave it. So we had a cute little animation. That was fun. And then we tried to experience stuff with Rin, and that was really nice. I liked it. It makes me want to go outside and lay on the floor. The ground. Not the floor. There's no floor outside. Okay, I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye!